Hey, Cam here. So one of the things we try to do is have a date night every week, and one of our favorite and cheapest way to do it is to have a board game night at home. Now, I myself am a really big horror fan, and with Halloween coming up, I thought I would show you one of our current favorites, Arkham Horror. It is a pretty complex game, but once you figure out the rules, it's very fun. Let's get into it. The game is for 1 to 6 players. That's right, it does have an individual mode, and I find it works great for date night since it's cooperative instead of competitive like most board games. Rather than playing against each other like a Monopoly, couples or teams work together to defeat the game. It retails for between $50 to $60, which may be fair given how high quality the components are and its general replay value. We were lucky to get ours from a consignment sale for $7.50, but I can't remove this label here. The game takes place within the mythology of H.P. Lovecraft with 4 different scenarios for players to work through, though you can buy expansions. Despite Lovecraft's politics, the characters you can choose from are quite diverse. Each character comes with their own roles, special abilities, and stats. You need quite a big table for this game as there are a ton of little parts to lay out. The map varies depending on the scenario you chose, as do the cards that are in play. Once it's set up, the player in charge reads a description to set the stage. The game progresses when conditions within a story-based codex are met. The game is mostly advanced through acquiring these green and red tokens, which, as you can imagine, green is favorable, red is not. People who have experience with dice-based role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons will be very familiar with how situations are resolved. When prompted to test a skill, you refer to your character sheet for how many die to roll. If a dice lands on 5 or 6, that's usually a win or a pass. So, the higher your skill level, the more successful you'll be. Each character has 2 different health levels, indicated by a heart and a brain. The heart refers to physical health, and the brain is that character's sanity level, since we're playing a horror-themed game. Characters can die when they lose either, as we found out for the first time in this game, when my character died and I had to start over with a whole new character. Each round progresses in 4 stages. In the first stage, each player can select 2 actions to take, including moving their character, attacking monsters, and collecting clues to advance the story. In the second stage, the monsters are able to move, attack, and change the board according to what their cards instruct. In the next phase, called the encounter phase, players draw a card and read a short narrative relevant to their current location on the board. These can lead you to gain clues, items, or restore health if you pass the test. If not, you can lose your health or even become cursed in some cases. So the last phase of each round is to draw 2 tokens from the Mythos Cup, which in our case is this little bag. The stages repeat until you get a story card that dramatically tells you whether you won or lost. During today's playthrough, we figured out a lot more about the mechanics of the game, and it was kind of tight there for a minute, but we were able to kill Cthulhu and win the game. The game is a really good mental exercise, and it can be a great bonding experience with your partner. We've never really been able to get immersed in the story though, because of all the mental work you have to do to remember the rules, procedures, and modifiers as you proceed through the game. Now, if you're still a little bit too intimidated by Arkham Horror, but you want a similar experience to have with your family or your partner this Halloween, I do recommend Horrified. It's a very similar game in premise, but it's only played in 3 rounds and it is rated for players 10 and up, so it's much less complex. Alright, happy Halloween!